A few things I want to talk about here. One is, rather than the normal hoop that most people have, where you squash one outer ring into an under ring and hold down the fabric or the stabilizer, I've got, with my machine, I have got a hoop that allows me to use magnets so that I can hoop quilt squares or the whole quilt and just, you know, line up the middle of where I want to work, which I have done. The reason why I'm showing this is I know lots and lots of people have seen me do this with the Peter Rabbit mag, so along with Jacqueline. They've seen me how I do applique on the Peter Rabbit character squares. But obviously, if you're part of Crafty So-and-so's and you've never seen those videos because they're on my other group, then I just thought then perhaps this would be of interest for you to see. So I've just put on his feet. This is using my embroidery file now, and the shapes I've already cut with my electronic cutter, so I am doing this completely automated rather than hand cutting and hand sewing or free machining. So the next step for me now, I'll just bring my hoop forward, is I'll take the shape. Oh, I hope you can see this far back. I'm not sure. Can you see how far back I've gone? Yeah, I think just about now. I'll take the shape. I've got to look at the shape and think, hang on, which way is it? It should fit my already outlined work. Yes, it does perfectly, which we knew it would. And then I take, while it's in the hoop still, I take, this is a craft iron by Clover on its highest heat. It's got to cut the heats. And I will just adhere the bonder web down on that shape. Okay, well, I've moved this slightly. Just easing that over while it's still warm, right? So I've just adhered that shape down, put it back under the machine and hit the start button for the blanket stitch now. Obviously you get little ends, which I should do at the end, but I do tend to fiddle with it while it's going round. So there now it's putting down the blanket stitch all around that shape for me. I need to change my thread and do the beard a minute. I've just put the white in and I wanted to see how it will now put down the outline stitch for the beard. And now I need to take, now I've done this, I'm hoping this is going to work because I've cut a piece of fleece out, yeah, and it fits exactly where I want it to fit. Well, when I say exactly, not as exact as if I was using plain cotton. So now I'm going to try my best to get that to adhere. Ooh, and it doesn't want to, does it? No, it doesn't want to. Why not? Because it's so thick. Why not? Alright, okay, well, let's take it. Let's do it a little quieter then. A little slower. Let the heat just permeate through the felt. Melt the glue, because that's what we're trying to do, is melt the glue. Alright, now as you can see, I've had a few problems there. I know when this is stitched down and this is cold, where I've flattened it, I will get a very light comb and I'll bring that fluff back up. So I now go on to the second stitch, which is I'm holding it because it's not, you know, glued all the way. And yeah, that look, you know, because I've had to do that with the iron, that looks, look, see? But I know that I can give that a nice rub. A gentle rub. Yeah. Come on. I flattened all, so I've flattened all the fibres by ironing it. But see, I can go through. And I can just, there we are. There you go. I can just get, and I can just trim any misprint fibres so that we've got a nice neat look. See? But I can bring that beard right back up to being nice and fluffy again. Alright, so don't worry about that. So the next bit is the pink nose. Again, I need to change my cotton, my thread. So I've just done his nose and I've just put the red back in to do the outline for his quite big hat, which I decided to do. This is like a green and gold spot, and I decided to do his hat in a red spot. So, whoops, I'll just bring that forward, take my applique shape, and fit it exactly over that marked out line. Okay, and then again, using my craft iron, and these craft irons are so useful for applique, absolutely unbelievable. Right, so now I put his hat on, and the last stage is to just go and finish off the blanket stitch all around Sam's elf. Really pleased with this shape. I love it when I get suggestions from group members. They say, well, can we have this? Yeah, well, if I can. I mean, obviously there may be something I think, oh, I can't bloody do that. But if I can do it, then yeah, let's have a go. There's very few things I haven't been able to do by hook or by crook in the end. Right, so that's that finished. So that is, I can now take the hoop out. That is, take these magnets off. That is the, I did do a choco line so that I knew I wasn't too close, yeah. So that's my little elf put onto that side of the stocking. You know, just to show you that's the method that I use. Alright, so far we've taken one side of the stocking and I've attached my applique. I have then gone on and embroidered a little message to my husband. What's the next thing to do? Well, the next thing, actually, we need to cut some rectangles for the cuff. Hang on. I'm going to, oh, you can see it. This is my notebook. We are, next year, going to make a cover for a notebook. This is only an ordinary pad notebook, but you know, I made it. Notes, J, notes, you know, sewing fabric and what have you. We can do this. We'll do this next year. Oh, so where am I? Here I am. 7 by 9 Christmas stocking top. Right, 7 by 9. That's what we decided, or I decided. So now I've only got that on there to stop the material falling off. This is a lovely white, a white on white, and I don't think that you're going to pick this up on camera, but it has a glitter. It's all little snowflakes white on white, and it has a glitter to it. So that's what I'm going to use to make my 7 by 7, 7 by 9 rectangles. And the way I'm going to do it, now there's two ways. Let's put that back so you can see it. You can take a ruler. Most rulers are 6.5 inches, so you know it's going to be 7. So working away from the edge and away from, on my piece here, they, you know, where I have a selvage. Well, let's do it the other way. Let's do it from here. If I want it to be 9 inches, forget that funny edge at the moment, because that is a squiffed edge. I could cut along, forget the selvage, along, and then come back and rearrange the ruler so that I know I end up with 7 by 9. Or my way of doing things, I'm just putting the fold to the selvages and flipping it over, because this is the way that I do things. This is called Forest Frost Glitter Favourites by Moda, if anybody's interested. I love it for Christmas because it's got the snowflake on snowflake and the glitter. So the way I will do things is I'll take, not that one, this one, and I've mentioned this before so many times on well, some I've mentioned on Crafty, some I've mentioned on Peter Rabbit, so along with Jacqueline, but this is a Stripology XL ruler by Creative Grids, and what this gives me, I want something that's 9 inches. Well, I you know, at the end of the day, I got plenty of this. I got a few meters of this. So first off, I'll make a 0.0 cut. Okay, now I got a clean edge. I want 7 by 9. So this is at the moment, well, just under 12, because I knew I got a selvage here. Doesn't matter to me because I always use bits, like I just cut off this bit, but I will use that in applique, yeah, so it doesn't worry me. So now I want it to be 7 inches wide, so that's where I'll cut. Now I can move that, get rid of everything else. I know that this is 7 inches wide, and moving round from the selvage edge, putting my ruler back on, lining up top and bottom so I know that everything is perpendicular, perfectly straight. Move it in so I'm losing my selvages and make my 0 cut. Having made my 0 cut, what do I want? 2 pieces, 9 inches. Okay, so now get rid of the selvage. These are 2 pieces, 7 by 9. This is what's left over, but the fold is this end, so actual fact it's quite big and quite useful for something else, and that's how I do it. With these pieces we're going to make it into a tube, so we're going to put right sides together and we are going to sew along a 1/4 inch seam along the sides. That's what we're going to do, which is going to give us a tube which eventually we will be able to fold over like so. This is going to be the width. I don't know what's happened here. Something's come down on me. Which this, you know, once it's in together, this we are going to attach with a quarter inch, well, with quarter inch or so seam to the top, which we will do that way round, so then we can fold it. Whoops, where am I? So then we will be folding it back on each other. So if you like, where the rough edge is, the raw edge, is the fold. Where the raw edge is, before we do anything else, on the top half, so, you know, finger press that, so you know where your fold's going to be. On the top half of this is where we're going to write or embroider or iron on vinyl transfer, or whatever method you're going to do. If you want to put something on the cuff, this is the time to do it before we do anything else. I'll be putting this under my machine, and on this top half, and remember, if you've got fabric that is a one-way fabric, make sure that you've got this bit is the right way up. Yeah, we'll come to that. But on this top half of this 9x7 oblong, this is where we write the name of the person, embroider, vinyl transfer, whatever you want to do. Bearing in mind you've got seams here, seams there, so it needs to be in the middle of this top section. So I am going to go and do that now, and I'm going to put my husband's name on it, Ingram. It's a really weird first name, because it's usually somebody's surname, isn't it? But it's not. It is his first name. Obviously, same as me, he's Lovelock, but his first name is Ingram. So I am going to put Ingram on here, so he knows it's his stocking, before I go any further. And I am going to do this on my embroidery machine, and this time I'm going to load it up with a back into it, so it's got some sort of stabilizer, and embroider that. If you were doing it by hand, I would suggest you get a pen that is iron removable, like the fusible, like the what do we call it? Oh, what are my pens called? You know, the ones you can iron off. Use one of those and write out the name, and then do it with a large chain stitch with a thick embroidery thread. That looked nice. Other than that, as I said, if you have an electronic cutter, you could do this in heat transfer vinyl and heat transfer the name on. Okay, several ways of doing it, but I'm going to embroider, so that's what I'm going to do next before I show you something else.